Welcome to the program. An Accra High Court has dismissed an application filed by the lawyers of former Chief Executive Officer of the National Signals Bureau, Mr Adu Boahene, seeking an adjournment pending the hearing of a review motion filed by Kojo Ofoase-Ayirebi Nkrumah. The review motion challenges the dismissal of his earlier interlocutory application by a single justice of the Supreme Court. Lead counsel for the defense, Atta Akyea, who recently boycotted proceedings over the legal vacation controversy, was back on his feet in the court today, leading the defense team as his clients keenly followed proceedings from the dock. And a member of our legal affairs desk, Atta Akyea, was in court and is joining me in the studio with the very latest. Atta, first of all, I want to believe that the clients, that is Mr Adu Boahene and his wife, heaved a sigh of relief when they finally saw their lawyer in court.
Absolutely. So, Ken, there was indication by the court that if the lawyers of Mr Adu Boahene and his wife refused to come to court today, then it means that Adu Boahene would have to cross-examine the fourth prosecution witness. And for this, many of us were waiting to see how that would happen. But they were very fortunate to see their lawyers in court led by Samuel Atta Akyea himself, who, in fact, in the last few days or weeks said that he wasn't going to appear before the Accra High Court to defend his client because of the legal vacation controversy. But it was just fortunate on the part of the accused persons that their lead counsel, Samuel Atta Akyea, was in court to cross-examine the prosecution witness.
And he made a number of demands when he appeared in court. So what did he say?
Yes, so on his feet in Specialized Court 1, Samuel Atta Akyea prayed to the court for an adjournment. The reason for this particular request, Ken, is the fact that he informed the court about a review application filed by Kojo Oppong Nkrumah, the man who went to the Supreme Court trying to challenge the constitutionality of the warrant issued by the Chief Justice a few weeks ago for the courts to sit on some cases during this legal vacation. The application was dismissed, and he repeated another application at the Supreme Court. So based on that repeated application, Atta Akyea sought an adjournment, and he said that this particular application will be heard on the 2nd of September. So he prayed to the court for the adjournment, pending the determination of that matter. But Deputy Attorney General Justice Rimsai, who represented the prosecution also on his feet in the court, opposed the plea, explaining that the Supreme Court has already decided the substantive interlocutory application before it, and that no further or subsequent motions should hold the court from continuing with the trial. And based on that, he prayed to the court for an adjournment, to dismiss this particular plea made by the defense. So after the arguments by both parties, the trial judge, Francis Apanga then said, Ken, in court, he said that he has not seen any rule or otherwise in this manner halting the trial. And based on that, he said, even though this case was determined by a single judge of the Supreme Court, its decision is binding until there is another decision or ruling by the Supreme Court setting aside its earlier decision or reversing it. The trial would have to continue. So based on that, he dismissed the application and basically said that the cross-examination of the fourth prosecution witness would have to proceed. And based on that, Atta Akyea had to, cross-examine the fourth prosecution witness in this manner. But after the court proceedings, Atta Akyea has been, speaking to he spoke with the media and basically said that the decision of the judge to dismiss that application or that plea for an adjournment was strange because in his previous ruling before Kojo Oppong Nkrumah's interlocutory application was heard at the Supreme Court, he said there are two laws or school of thoughts. One says that when an application is before a higher court, go ahead until the court decides on that matter. And then there's another school of thought that says that wait until the higher court is done determining the matter, then you proceed with a trial in this matter. So he said based on that, and the trial judge agreed with the second school of thought, which says that wait until the higher court is done with the determination. So he was saying that basically based on that, the trial judge should have waited for the court to determine the repeated or the repeat application, which is now before the Supreme Court, before the trial would continue. We can take a listen to him saying that it is strange for the court to dismiss their plea.
Judge now makes a detour that he will not abide by the repeat application for injunction. Earlier on, he adjourned proceedings when the application for injunction was filed. Now, he's turning around to say that he will not abide by the fact that, the three judges should determine the injunction by reversing what the single judge did. Was strange to me. The pain of what is this case is that he wants my client to cross-examine the witness. My client is not trained to do that. And I don't want to be seen also to be defying his orders. So that is what has happened. But I believe that is unfortunate. I thought the judge will respect the fact that the three judges should determine the injunction, which was restraining him from continuing with the case. He didn't do that.
So in simple terms, does that mean that the decision of the Supreme Court compelled you to come to court today?
In fact, it was a decision of the Supreme Court coupled with the fact that Honorable Kojo Ofoase-Ayirebi Nkrumah has repeated his motion before the three judges, and I wanted to bring it to his attention. And that is what I wanted to do. And if you saw what happened, I brought it to his attention that, my Lord, although the first one has been dismissed, there's a repeat application restraining you from continuing with the case. I said, no, he will not respect that.
Right, you've been listening to the lawyer for Mr Adu Boahene, Samuel Atta Akyea there. Fatal Bayaga is still with me today. He was in court earlier, as I mentioned. Fatal, there was another case of public interest in court today, and that has to do with the former Buffer Stock CEO, Abdul Wahab, and his wife. What's the latest on that? Absolutely, Ken. So that case today was scheduled for evidence in chief. Evidence in chief means that the first prosecution witness would, mount the witness box. Then his own counsel will ask him a few questions, right, before the other side, the opposing side, or the defense will now cross-examine the prosecution witness. But something very interesting happened in court today. The lawyers for the first and second accused persons, I'm talking about Hanan Abdul Wahab and his wife, Faiza Wuni, were not in court. And the accused person, the first accused person, had to inform the court that his lawyer is currently indisposed. He brought a letter indicate to that effect. But then, according to the court, the letter did not come with a medical report. And for that reason, the judge had to adjourn the case to tomorrow. And in fact, on that case, the judge said tomorrow, when the accused person is coming to court, he would have to come along with the medical, the medical report. And based on that, if, the court would adjourn the case for a long time in order that maybe for about a month, in order that the lawyer would recover from his condition, among other things, for this particular case to continue. So basically, it was just for evidence in chief, but because the lawyers were not in court, Godfrey Addo, former Attorney General, and also Augustine Obo, who is counsel for the second accused person, all said they were indisposed, and that's the reason they couldn't make it to court today. Okay. Fatal, thank you very much. From the courts, let's head to Parliament now, where the Speaker of the House, Alban Bagbin, says he will accept a motion filed by the minority seeking a full parliamentary probe into the reported $1.7 billion domestic gold purchase program losses recorded last year. According to the Speaker, Ghanaians deserve to know the truth about the issues at the center of the ongoing legal battle between the minority and government spokespersons.
Motion they have filed, which was received in my office on the 21st of August, 2026, just 3 days ago. 3 days ago, that it got to my office. I have gone through the motion myself, and I intend to admit the motion because we have to at least have an end to litigation. As to whether it's a loss or it's a cost, this House will have the opportunity to go through it. Please, Ghanaians are very intelligent people. They will listen, they will read in between the lines, and they will make their decisions.
Mahama Ayirebi is Speaker of Parliament. Meanwhile, outgoing Majority Leader Mahama Ayirebi, Alban Bagbin rather is Speaker of Parliament. Outgoing Majority Leader Mahama Ayirebi says the $1.7 billion gold losses must be viewed in the context of government's efforts to stabilize the city and expand the volume of gold purchased by the state. Responding to concerns by the minority who have filed a motion to demand inquiry into the issue, Mr. Ayirebi argued that although the losses have increased, the government inherited a system that was already recording losses, describing the cost as part of measures taken to maintain the strength of the local currency.
I've also witnessed in this House that the minority has urged us to share the glory for the establishment of Gold Board with your flag bearer, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. And I know for sure that in the original design that the NDC government inherited, according to you, there were still what you call losses. Even if the losses have increased, it is because this government have pursued policies that have expanded the volume of gold that has been purchased by the government. Those are facts, and you know the facts. In this House, we have consistently demonstrated that what you call losses are actually costs that this country has to pay in order to maintain the strength of our currency today. What you call as losses is costs that this country has to deal with as a result of maintaining the stability of our currency. All these things have been argued, and we have tried to make a case that this is perhaps one of the best policies that have ever been implemented by any government in this country that has stabilized our currency, that has strengthened our city, and that has maintained inflation at a very low rate up to date.
We stay a while in Parliament because the Speaker of the House has taken issue with the mode President Mahama used to designate James Agaga as the next Majority Leader.
The communication says acting because the President has no authority to communicate the change of the leadership of the House to the Speaker. And so it was actually done in error. This matter has come before the House a number of times. As a result, even in our current standing orders, we had to define the two terms, Majority Leader and Minority Leader. And clearly, Majority Leader, by our standing orders, says Majority Leader means a member of Parliament designated by the Majority Caucus as their leader in the House. And as you know, the practice is that the party, under the hand of the General Secretary of the party, communicates that decision of the party to the Speaker. That is what has happened so far. And because of earlier disagreements, we had to relook at it, and we all came out with this definition, which is captured in the standing orders. I want to clarify this. So the procedure today may look different. That is why you still see the Majority Leader is still on his seat. because he's still the majority leader, until otherwise communicated by the party and then decided by the caucus and the information passed on. Then you have the usual courtesies that we done on the floor.
The new majority leader, James Agaga, is calling for a comprehensive probe into the losses associated with a domestic gold purchasing program covering the period from its commencement to date. This follows persistent calls by the minority for Parliament to establish an ad hoc committee to investigate the $1.7 billion incurred under the program in 2025. Speaking on PM Express with Evans Mensah, Mr. Agaga said a broader investigation will give Ghanaians a clearer picture of the program and its operations.
Made a surplus huge in the region of what, 4 billion plus, thereabout. And that is captured in the Auditor General's report. So, Evans, I can understand why Gold Board is saying that they are ready to account to the people of this country. Maybe what we need to do is probably to extend the scope of the probe. Because, you see, the domestic gold purchase program started as far back as 2021. Were there costs associated with the purchase of gold borne by the Bank of Ghana? Yes, in the IMF report they state categorically that 400 million was lost as a result of the domestic gold purchase program, which was designed to shore up our currency, the performance of our currency against the dollar. It was a deliberate government policy. So we had to spend money, the Bank of Ghana had to spend money to achieve those objectives, right? So today nothing has changed. The IMF report itself says the only thing which has changed is that under this government we have scaled up the domestic gold purchase program as compared to its scale under the previous administration.
So you want to extend the time.
I mean, those are the proposals, so that you can have a global picture.
So you're not limited, because from what I understand, this motion that has been submitted by the minority focuses on 2025?
Yes. Yes. So in order for you to have a global picture of what has happened over the period, I mean, it's important for you to go down memory lane to ascertain for yourself what the practices were. So is it the case that at that time, 2021, the precious minerals marketing company bought the DOR, or they call it Dory gold, whatever it is called, that's the raw gold, using Forex Bureau rates as opposed to the Bank of Ghana rate, which in itself would definitely account for some losses, right?
The New Patriotic Party has declared full backing for the minority in Parliament over the controversial 22 billion Ghana cedi domestic gold purchase program loss. Well, this comes following days of accusations and counter-accusations between the minority and the CEO of Gold Board, Sami Gyamfi, over who bears responsibility for the loss. The New Patriotic Party, at its latest news conference over the matter, first called out the Gold Board CEO for allegedly using the seat of government during its accountability series for verbal attack, an act they describe as a gross disrespect to Ghanaians. Here's national organizer of the party, Henry Nanabuache.
He did not sit with the documents and answer them page by page in good faith. He stood on government platform at the seat of the president himself at the Jubilee House under series meant to promote transparency and accountability, and he used that platform to insult and vilify. He called the concerns of the elected representative of this country reckless. He called them bereft of facts and common sense. He called them barefaced liars before he had even finished laying out his facts. Ladies and gentlemen, that platform does not belong to Mr. Jamfi, it does not belong to NDC. It belongs to the presidency of the Republic of Ghana. It belongs to every Ghanaian. When a public officer takes the platform and uses it to insult and vilify the minority in parliament, instead of answering them, he does not disrespect one man, but the entire parliamentary group. He disrespects the office of the presidency. He disrespects the institution of parliament. He disrespects every Ghanaian who was watching, waiting for real answers about their $1.7 billion.
Well, the party has also declared its position on the happenings in Parliament.
Looking at our current situation in Parliament, we have minority in Parliament, and we have just 10 female MPs in Parliament. It is my ultimate priority to up the numbers. At least the men should have 70, then we will begin with 30. My first point and target and focus would be the Kaswa seat. My main contender is from there.
Why Kaswa?
Why Kaswa? Because we need that seat, and it was occupied by a woman from our party. So with the support of the women's wing, with the support of TESCON, with the support of the women, with the support of the regional women organizers and their deputies, we would go back and reclaim the Kaswa seat. Okaikwe North will go back and reclaim the seats. Honorable Esler's Place will go back and reclaim the seat. Ablekuma West will go back and reclaim the seat. Ayawaso Wogon will go back and reclaim the seat. All seats that were lost to our opponents in 2024, we are fired up to recover all those seats from them. And when you go to Parliament, the current situation, some MPs are injury time players, and they are aware. So I will plead with them, they should speed up whatever they are doing in Parliament, because once you borrow, there is time to borrow and there is time to pay back. And the payback is 7th December, come 2028. We will surely be coming for all our seats that were borrowed from the other side.
His message is simple: reunite, rebuild, and recapture power. Paul Afogo is the one who revived the party from opposition days, and it's just unfortunate. Some few months to election, he was suspended, but we know his works was what culminated in the 169 seat that we had in Parliament. So he coming back again. It's a good news to the grassroots, because he believes in strengthening the grassroots. That is the police station executive, constituency executives, and then the region, to be able to work effectively and win power for the party.
You are hopeful that among the 5 people, he will emerge winner.
He will win. He will win.
Okay.
Let me say this boldly and plainly, that the entire leadership of the New Patriotic Party, including the presidential candidate, we are fully behind the minority. On behalf of the entire New Patriotic Party, there is no confusion anywhere. We are fully behind the mighty minority. The New Patriotic Party stands fully, completely, and unreservedly behind our mighty minority caucus in Parliament, led by Honorable Alexander Afenyomakin. We wholeheartedly support each member of our minority caucus in this struggle. We back their questions, we back their scrutiny, we back their demand for full, transparent account of how a state institution charged with buying and protecting Ghana's gold ended up presiding over such huge losses of this magnitude. This is not partisan politics. This is a national duty. Whoever governs this country is answerable to the people who elected them. They are answerable to every dollar of the people's money that passes through their hands. And let me be equally plain about what comes next. We are not backing off, not now, not tomorrow, not until every question is answered in full and in public and under proper scrutiny. We also say this to the minority leader and every member of the caucus. use every relevant law in the books, every question on the floor of Parliament, every committee hearing, every request for documents, every order paper, every point of order. Utilize every relevant tool provided by the standing orders in our Parliament with confidence. The Parliament belongs to the people of Ghana, not to the convenience of whoever is in the office. Make sure you are very strong in the committee, very strong on the floor of Parliament. Fight for the people of Ghana in the court of public opinion as well. Fight until the Ghanaian people receive all the answers they deserve, in writing, under oath if necessary. The New Patriotic Party remain vigilant. Our minority caucus will not look away. We call on every Ghanaian watching, listening, and reading this today. Do not look away either. Demand your own answers. Demand truth.
Henry Nana Boakye is the national organizer of the opposition NPP. Aaron Enchi is a member of the NPP's national communications team. He's joining me this afternoon for a conversation on the back of this. Aaron, welcome to the program. The CEO of Gold Board and the majority have always maintained that there was no losses incurred on the books of Gold Board. But the minority and now the NPP is saying that those losses were on the books of Gold Board. Why does your party keep insisting that? Yes, I can hear you now.
You can hear me?
Yeah.
Thank you. So, let me first speak to why we held the press conference today. It was primarily to do three things. One, to tell the whole country that the party is solidly behind the minority in Parliament, especially the minority leader. Two, to affirm that we are not going to depart from the real issues of debating or answering questions on the $1.7 billion loss, which is equivalent to 22 billion Ghana cedis. And also three, to tell you that we are going to support the minority to pursue within their reasonable means and every legal means to deal with it. Now, let me start from the first one. In fact, let me deal with the matter in question. The point over here is that the IMF is an international body the Ghanaian people chose, or through their government, somewhere the 20th day of September 1957. The Ghanaian voter did not know that the government was even going to join IMF. But consistent and successive government has given credibility to this international body. Both the NPP and the NDC, whenever they are in government, choose to go for loans from this international body. And that has not been questioned. And so the IMF, if you agree with me, would know that the IMF does not even sit in Ghana. They don't sit in Kokomlemle, neither do they sit in Dublin. They sit in the US. It is the Ghanaian government and its institution that takes its books to them and they audit. And the conversation we've been running around and people speaking about the fact that the minority is putting blame on this institution or the other is neither here nor there. The conversation is very simple. BOG gives $11.7 billion to an institution to purchase goods from the said organization, i.e. BOG. Now, the said institution tells the whole country that we have been able to rake in $10 billion. Where is the remaining 1.7 billion? If you could not even make profit, that means you must break even. And that is the question. And the 1.7 billion, if you are looking at the IMF report, page 10, paragraph 13 of the said report, will tell you, upon a literal review, will tell you that the said loss sits on the BOG account. But that is not in dispute. But the real question is the reasons IMF ascribed to these losses. And the three reasons they ascribe fits directly with the activities of the Gold Board. And so, or any citizen who raises the question that if I give you, my brother, if I give you 11.7 billion that go and trade for, indeed I'm the principal. So I give you the said man. You go to market and bring me 10 billion. The loss will sit on my book, but you cause the losses. And that has been the conversation. But you see, it has centered on name callings, making certain allegations, which I believe we need not even be repeating it. But the question over here is that the one who made the said allegation is a lawyer. And it is strike law that whoever makes an allegation wills the burden to prove the said allegation. So I find it very ridiculous to find some section of Ghanaians pushing the said burden to the minority leader. In any event, if the said person who made the allegation, who is a lawyer, Mr. Samuel James, is someone we are going to believe his words, this is the same person who described or made a categorical statement that the MPP's flag bearer, then Vice President Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, was the owner of Haptel. It came out that their own Attorney General and other government officials even attended a Haptel dinner or so, and the truth has now come out that Dr. Bawumia does not know. The said person is a liar, and if the said person is making such an accusation, you want anyone to believe because the person has just made a certain statement about anyone. If we keep on entertaining such conversation, my brother, it might end up that I would also wake up one day in the morning looking at the fine suit you are wearing, sitting enjoying this. I'll tell you that maybe you are corrupt. Whether I have evidence or not, my response to you is that go to court so that I come and prove myself. But that is not the center of the conversation.
So in essence, you are saying that the credibility of the Gold Boss CEO, Sami Gyamfi, in itself is questionable, and that we should take whatever he says with a pinch of salt. Is that it?
It's questionable, my brother. And you see, the suit by the minority leader to court is a tortious act, and it is in persona. That is between two private individuals. That can't take the center stage of a loss of 1.7 billion USD. The Ghanaian people are faced with and must speak. Now, my brother, let me even explain this $1.7 billion, what it can do in this country. If you check the equivalent of it, it is 22 billion Ghana cedis. You need 400 million Ghana cedis to set up a bank. Divide 400 million by 22 billion Ghana cedis. You are getting 55 banks can be established by this. Surprisingly or coincidentally, the President of the Republic in February 2025 told us that we need $1.7 billion to be able to complete Agenda 111, that is building 111 hospitals in this country. Ask yourself, we are running around this $11.7 billion loss instead of asking the real questions to get a firm response from Ghana people to use this. We are still running around this based on some personal allegations by
Aaron, let me come in here. Of course, it is no doubt that there was a loss, a $1.7 billion loss, which the IMF attributes to the Bank of Ghana. Now, the argument by the majority is that, yes, we incurred a loss through the gold purchase program, but those losses were positive losses because they stabilized our local currency. Our macroeconomic indicators are looking very bright. So it has, in effect, according to the majority, improved the outlook of Ghana's economy. Is that not something that you allude to as a minority MPP?
I think whichever macroeconomic indicators we have, being it at its strongest positive numbers whatsoever, must reflect in the pocket of the poor Ghanaian or the ordinary Ghanaian. Ask yourself, the major policies or promises by this government, that must translate into economic growth in the pocket of the normal Ghanaian. What has it been up to? Ask yourself for 24-hour economy, and I'm sure you didn't struggle to find any person in the NDC being ready to be able to explain to you where the policy has even gotten to. Ask yourself, the teachers who have been demonstrating, now they get clearance to pick 7,000 of them, and the sad thing is that these teachers need to even pay money to even check whether they've been employed. Guess the number of people who purchase those scratch cards. You are taking money out of them, and you are telling us that you have positive macroeconomic indicators. Ask yourself the number of nurses who are staying home, who needs to be employed, and tell me that those macroeconomic indicators are making it positive look into their package. You come to this and you get to know that it is only favoring a few rich class. And the question we must be very deliberate with and ask is, how do we curb this 1.7 billion USD, or which is equivalent to 22 billion Ghana cedis?
But you know, Aaron, that this program, this gold purchasing program, did not start with this administration. In fact, it started during your administration, the erstwhile Akufo-Addo administration, and we incurred losses too. In fact, we incurred in excess of $400 million US. Critics are asking, why have you suddenly found your voice to criticize the losses incurred by a program which was introduced by your administration?
My brother, the reason we held an election and the Ghanaian people chose the NDC was to do something very different from ours. And in fact, they did something different. They established gold, and Gold Board has given them monopoly to buy gold, the sole entity to be trading gold in this country. Meaning, if you have the same monopoly, set the price at what you believe in. Why is it the case that Ghana Cocoa can, in the middle of the season, reduce prices? Because they have the same monopoly. So you need not to be doing the same thing that causes care losses. Let alone your loss is even about 3 times of what we care. Then it means that there was no essence of even voting the NDC to far. And the point that yesterday people were quiet about a certain matter does not warrant the fact that they cease to become citizens to speak to real issues affecting us. The $1.7 billion, which is 22 billion Ghana cedis, must be paid, and it must be paid by Ghanaians like you and I, who were not part of those who deliberately chose certain policy directions to incur this losses. And that is where we are questioning.
Okay.
We voted for them to do something different.
Okay. Right. So you say that you're backing your minority members in Parliament. The minority members are demanding the setting up of an ad hoc committee to probe this. But beyond that, what is the MPP as a party going to do about this?
Clearly, we indicated that minority is an arm of the party. We are going to provide every support from us to explore whichever necessary legal means we must do it. And so they have the full support of the party, and we are fully behind them.
Thank you very much. Aaron Entry is a member of the MPP's National Communication Team. Well, still with the opposition party, the former national chairman of the NPP, Paul Afoko, is rallying party supporters around the message of unity as he officially files his nomination as chairman. Paul Afoko once served as chairman of the party between 2013 to 14. He is among 5 aspirants contending to lead the party in a chairmanship position into the 2028 elections. He has filed his nomination today, and my colleague James Aveji was at the party's headquarters monitoring proceedings for us and is still there and joining us with the very latest. James, the process we're learning has turned into more or less a mini rally. Let us in on the protocols and the atmosphere as the MPP's party headquarters. Hello, James, do I have you?
Hear you. Ken, I can hear you.
On.
I can hear you.
Right, so that's my colleague James Aveji, and as you can see on your screen right now, the headquarters of the opposition New Patriotic Party has turned into a mini party, sort of. It's very euphoric this afternoon because there's a number of individuals who have filed their nominations for the various positions that have become vacant. Let's still stay with the NPP's national headquarters and establish connection with James Aveji. James, do I have clear connection to you right now? I'm asking you to let us in on what is happening at the party's headquarters right now.
When they arrive, they usher them around. They take a walk on the principal street in front of the party headquarters. and then they go into the headquarters proper, the conference room, where they do the filing process to the committee that is in charge of receiving the nominations. After that, they come out to address the members of the party, as you can see behind me, where one of the aspirants have just finished addressing members of the party who are largely his supporters on what his plans are for them. So far, 4 of the aspirants have filed their nominations already. Paul Afoko, who is vying to be national chairman of the party, again, who served as a national chairman in 2013-14, kickstarted the day with his filing process. And he was followed by Haja Safia Mohammed, who happened to be a former member of the National Hajj Board under the President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. That was the last position she held. And then she went on to also serve as the Deputy National Women Organizer of the party before they left office. And that's the current position she's holding before she's filing today to contest for the substantive position as a National Women Organizer of the party. Haja Safia Mohammed also filed her nomination. And then Alfred Kumi, who we all know in the media as Adentan Kumi, was the 3rd person to file his nomination. He is contesting for the National Youth Organizer position of the party. The aspirant who just filed is Collins Nyama, who is vying as the National Treasurer of the party. And so that has been the arrangement in the last few hours. 4 has filed, 5 more to go. We are expecting people like Daniel Ni Kwate Titus Glover, who was the former Member of Parliament for Tema East constituency, wants to be elected as a national organizer of the party, a former MP now contesting as a national organizer for the party. Salam Mustafa, who is currently the national youth organizer of the party, is also expected to file his nomination here at the party headquarters, contesting for national organizer. All of them want to succeed Henry Nana Boakye, who is currently the national organizer, but will be moving from there to contest for a different position in the party. And so those 2 are expected. Awal Mohammed, who is currently a member of the national communications team of the NPP, is also expected to file his nomination to contest as Nasara coordinator for the party. The rest 2 are Kwabena Abankwayeboa, who is contesting as a national treasurer, as well as Alfred Akoto Thompson, who is also expected to contest as a national treasurer. Now, for instance, those who have filed earlier, Paul Afoko has been selling the message of unity and the need to mobilize the grassroots of the party in order to heal the party of whatever fractions that has occurred in the last few years. You know that he was a chairman who was removed from his position due to an issue or the other. The party together himself have moved on from those issues. I've been speaking to a key member of his campaign team, who is also a grassroots member of the party, who has been telling me why they believe he will win. Together with Haja Safia, who says her aim is to increase women representation in parliament of the party to at least 30%. We can listen to both Haja Safia and a supporter of Paul Afoko on why they believe they needed to be given chance to lead the party to the election 2028. We'll come back and listen to the current person who is filing, Ken.
Looking at our current situation in parliament, we have minority in parliament, and we have just 10 female MPs in parliament. It is my ultimate priority to up the numbers. At least the men should have 70, then we will begin with 30. My first point and target and focus would be the Kaswa seat. My main contender is from there.
Why Kaswa?
Why Kaswa? Because we need that seat, and it was occupied by a woman from our party. So with the support of the women's wing, with the support of TESCON, with the support of the women, with the support of the regional women organizers and their deputies, we would go back and reclaim the Kaswa seat. Okankwe North will go back and reclaim the seats. Honorable Esler's Place will go back and reclaim the seat. Ablekuma West will go back and reclaim the seat. Ayawaso Wogon will go back and reclaim the seat. All seats that were lost to our opponents in 2024, we are fired up to recover all those seats from them. And when you go to Parliament, the current situation, some MPs are injury time players, and they are aware. So I will plead with them, they should speed up whatever they are doing in Parliament, because once you borrow, there is time to borrow and there is time to pay back. And the payback is 7th December, come 2028. We will surely be coming for all our seats that were borrowed from the other side.
His message is simple: reunite, rebuild, and recapture power. Polafogo is the one who revived the party from opposition days, and it's just unfortunate. Some few months to election, he was suspended, but we know his works was what culminated in the 169 seat that we had in Parliament. So he coming back again. It's a good news to the grassroots, because he believes in strengthening the grassroots. That is the polling station executive, constituency executives, and then the region, to be able to work effectively and win power for the party.
You are hopeful that among the 5 people, he will emerge winner.
He will win. He will win.
Okay. So that address has just been concluded. Collins Nkrumah, contesting for the position of National Treasurer, just finished addressing his members, and he's making his way in there in order to address members of his support team. Usually what happens is that after they have addressed the entire party supporters, they now have a conclave sort of with all the regional treasurers as well as the constituency treasurers across the country, and sell their messages to them individually. I had wanted to engage him briefly on what his exact plans are, but what he has been promising is issues of accountability, every resources that will be invested from all members of the party into the activities of campaigning and party administration. His promise is that he would make sure he account for all of those. Let me try and see if I can speak to a number of the supporters here who are actually hanging around as they have concluded. Well, let's have a conversation, sir. Can I know who you are and which of the candidate aspirant you are supporting?
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Omar Banchi Ibn Karim, popularly known as Prof. Omar, from the Botano English Amman from constituency.
Okay.
Yes, a member of the national communication team of the New Patriotic Party, and also a communication member of the Titus campaign team.
I see. He was a former MP and coming to contest as a national organizer of the party. I mean, why did he decide to, former chairman of MP, now national organizer, why did he decide to come and serve the party as a national organizer?
Thank you very much. We are humans. At every point in time, you assess yourself and know where you are needed the most. It's a political party. The MPP political party believes in competence. And Titus Glover has sat down to realize that, yes, I've served the party in so many capacities. This time around, I think the position of the national organizer needs my expertise, and that is why he has offered himself for that position.
What is wrong with the organization of the party that needs his expertise to address?
Well, when it comes to organization, you can't know it all. Having gathered experience of having served the party in so many areas, he thinks that he has gathered a lot of experience in terms of mobilizing the party base for victory 2028.
What are his top key campaign messages to the electors if he goes through the vetting process?
He has, ever since he started campaign, he has made it clear to the party that unity is very key as far as the victory we are looking for is concerned. So as far since victory, unity is key in the victory, he thinks that everybody should come on board, and his major campaign message is that he's uniting the base for the victory ahead of us in 2020.
When is he filing?
He's filing today.
He's around?
Today, yes. He's almost here.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. I see CNN. I believe you are a supporter of Collins Nkrumah, who just filed. Why are you supporting him?
He's my boss. I'm supporting him because he is capable and able to do the job. We need power 2028. And with Honorable Collins Nkrumah, we will pass through, but without him. So all that I'm asking is that all our constituency executives elect, all the regional executives elect, we plead, we beg you, please let's all rally behind our able incoming national treasurer, Honorable Collins Nkrumah, aka CNN, and let's cast our votes for him. The man is capable to do the job. He is very transparency. Let's give it to him and see what will come out of it.
Thank you very much. We wish you all the best. And tell me your name.
My name, please, I'm Doris Nakole Napoleon Bonaparte. I'm from Ablekuma West constituency.
Your surname is the Napoleon Bonaparte?
Yeah, it's the Napoleon Bonaparte. Okay. I'm from Ablekuma West constituency. I'm a woman organizer in one of our polling stations. Okay. Anglican polling station. We love the party. We love CNN. Please, let's give it to CNN. God bless us all.
Thank you. And that's a supporter of CNN there. Ken, I'm sure it's not the CNN you used to watch every time, but this is a candidate. Which party? You're also supporting CNN. Yes. What's your message in 30 seconds?
Yes, I just want to say that when at this moment where we are as a party, yes, as a party, we need someone who is more experienced. We need someone who is accessible, and we need someone who can also look for money for us. And when you look at the resources that we need and everything, that someone who is more experienced, CNN is the one that we need to vote for.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ken. And so that's the message from supporters of the various aspirants. Per the schedule, Honorable Daniel Ni Kwate Titus Glover would be coming in anytime soon. Once the candidate who has just filed walks out of the premises, he would walk in and also go through the process. I must say, that is the beauty of the organization. No two candidates or aspirants have met here together with their supporters to cause any clash or violence here at the NPP party headquarters. And so they're just waiting for him to make his way out, and the next candidate would aspirant will come in to also file his nomination, and then we'll see how the day will end here at the party headquarters. Ken.
James Avaji, thank you very much. That's my colleague James, stationed at the NPP's headquarters. You're still watching The Pulse. We'll return from the break with more. Don't go anywhere. Hello again. Ghana has launched the Africa Ocean Institute, an initiative aimed at strengthening the country's capacity to tackle mountain challenges facing its oceans and coastal communities while positioning the country as a hub for marine research, training and policy. The new institute brings together expertise in marine affairs, coastal resilience, fisheries and aquatic sciences under one institutional umbrella, with its leadership promising to move beyond academic research to deliver practical solutions for coastal communities, policymakers and the wider economy. With climate change, coastal erosion, declining fish stocks and pressure on marine resources increasingly threatening livelihoods across Ghana and the continent, the question now is whether AOI can translate its combined expertise into policies, innovation, and interventions capable of making a measurable difference. So what is the big vision behind AOI, and how will its three key components work together to address Africa's ocean challenges? Joining me in the studio right now is Director for the Center for Marine Affairs, Professor Noble Asari. Also joining the conversation is Acting Director for Africa Ocean Institute, Professor Precious Mata. Gentlemen, thank you very much for your time this afternoon. Professor Precious, let me begin with you. Why has this conversation become necessary at this point?
Thank you, and greetings to all your viewers. African Ocean Institute is a dream that has come into reality, and it was something we worked for, we prayed for, and we have realized it. About 1 in every 3 people on the continent are residing on the coastal or in the coastal areas, meaning population has increased, use of coastal resources has increased. Climate change is affecting our coasts, and degradation of the coastal areas and ocean resources is at its peak. And for that matter, we have to think of better ways of addressing the various challenges affecting our coastline. So, about 3 years ago, the Center for Coastal Management of the University of Cape Coast decided to upscale its activities from the national or from Ghana onto the continent. The first thing that happened was that the center was selected as a center of excellence by the World Bank in 2019.
You have to look into this camera for me.
And by that selection, we were given the mandate to train young Africans from all over the continent in various postgraduate programs. We were also given the mandate to do research in various issues concerning the coastal and maritime space of the continent. And after the project, that is the World Bank project, has ended, we felt that we have worked enough to launch ourselves onto the continental stage where we can do more, where we can help countries build capacity, where we can actually help various countries conduct research into coastal and marine issues on the continent. So these are the reasons why the Africa Ocean Institute was launched or was initiated.
Okay.
We applied to the university, and the university, by its academic board, approved, and then we applied to the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, and at the beginning of 2026, GTEC has actually granted us the permission to establish Africa Ocean Institute. And here we are, launching Africa Ocean Institute. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll come back to you. Let me go to Professor Asare. What is the mandate of the Center for Marine Affairs, and what do you seek to address?
Right, thank you very much, and good afternoon to all your viewers and listeners. In fact, if you look at the general mandate of all university institutions, they come under threefold. Teaching, in order to build capacity on one side, then you have research to inform teaching, and also extension services to inform development. Now, under normal circumstances, we are supposed to perform all these three tasks in one. However, most times we end up doing some of these things in isolation. So what it means is that we do conduct a lot of research, which is on a normal circumstance is supposed to inform policy and development, but there's a missing link.
Right.
Yes. So establishing the Center for Marine Affairs under the umbrella of the African Ocean Institute was a necessity to bridge the gap that we find between the research we conduct and also the development that policy is supposed to advance. So our role is to help the University of Cape Coast through the African Ocean Institute, on one hand, to conduct some policy research, on the other hand, to translate a lot of the scientific knowledge we already have into actionable policy drives, which governments, especially the developmental umbrella of government, and then also development agencies, to help address a lot of the issues that Africa faces and what Ghana we are looking at in relation to the oceans and then the coastal environment.
And looking at all that is happening, do you see your vision to easily be realized? Do you think the visions are realistic?
Well, on a normal circumstance, that is a big challenge that we have taken upon ourselves. However, we didn't arrive here just on a whim. We've been working behind the scene for a long time. I believe the acting executive director gave some historical background to how the African Ocean Institute actually came to be. We have worked for over 2 decades now, both in country. We extended our reach to the region, the West African region and the Central Africa, and now we work across the continent. We work with some of the big institutions on the continent to help shape a lot of the policies. There are a number of them that we've supported together with the African Union, together with the World Bank, together with the United States Agency for International Development and many others. So it is something that we already do, except now we want to scale it up, make sure that we consolidate how we do the work, and then enhance the impacts that we want to derive. So yes, there will be challenges, but we are well positioned to face those challenges.
I'll come back to you once again, but let me come to Professor Mata. You've explained to us what the AOI is about, but can you also tell us the structures of the AOI and the role of its subsidiary centers?
So AOI has 3 departments under it. The first one is the Center for Coastal Management, African Center of Excellence in Coastal Resilience, CCMA SCORE, as we call it. Then the second one is the Department of Fisheries and Aquatic Sciences, and the third one is the Center for Marine Affairs.
Right.
And then the core mandate of the Center for Coastal Management is research, mainly demand-driven research for into coastal issues and marine issues. Then Department of Fisheries and Aquatic Sciences will spearhead the training. They've already been training people. We'll expand it now. Again, and they will look at the training. We have a couple of postgraduate programs that we run through them, and they are going to, we are going to develop more for their activities. Then the Center for Marine Affairs, as my colleague said, is mainly looking at policy and outreach issues.
Have you started seeing results?
I would say yes.
Tell us some.
We have worked with African Union in various countries. We've trained people. We have developed databases for the African Union, and we've supported a few of governments on the continent already in developing policies to support their coastal and maritime issues. So these are a couple of things that we have been doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Professor Sarah, let me come to you. How will this work translate into real benefits for coastal communities, young people, policymakers, and the academia?
Yeah, I think this question actually dovetailed into what my colleague was already talking about.
Right.
And so I will continue from there. So in fact, our work has been designed to be impactful. So particularly the beneficiaries at the coastal level. Now, if you start from Ghana and along the coast, the 4 coastal regions of Ghana, you can see there are a myriad of issues that has been in the spotlight for quite a while, but the solutions haven't really come to the level which we would all want, and therefore we need to build upon. An example is the coastal erosion issues, especially in the Volta region, and we have been at the forefront of working with the necessary national agencies together with other international partners to help address the issue. One in particular is the West African Coastal Area Program, which is overseeing some of the interventions being put in place in the Volta region as we speak. We have also worked with some of the governments like the Ministry of Fisheries and Aquaculture to spearhead some policy interventions. One in particular case is the close season that's for small-scale artisanal fisheries, which was initiated from, I think, 2019 until about 2025. And this was through the contribution of the work we did. Before we became an Ocean Institute, we were working together anyway. So the two units that were in existence and the third unit that has come to join, we're all working to inform that process. Now, moving forward, we are expecting that we will build upon these gains. So as he alluded to, if we take the continental level, the African Union Inter-Africa Bureau for Animal Resources has been one key partner of our work. In fact, they have utilized our expertise for close to 9 years now. We have contributed to a lot of policy and governance issues on the continent in several African countries. And as he mentioned, we developed at the University of Cape Coast through the Department of Fisheries and Aquatic Sciences, we developed a continental data hub for the fisheries sector and fisheries and aquaculture sector, where all African countries have a portal through which they can actually contribute the data they have from their fisheries sector to enhance proper decision-making on the continent. So moving forward from AOI, we see the need, particularly from the point of the Center for Marine Affairs, the need to now come up with certain knowledge products that are tailor-made for individual countries, starting from our own country, Mother Ghana, where we know there are a lot of issues to do with the blue economy, and blue economy being a new area where Africa is now trying to get a foothold.
Right.
We are trying to work with the relevant agencies and the stakeholders to come up with the proper knowledge product that would allow the policymakers to make sound decisions in the area. So we will continue working from where we have already been working from in order to build upon the gains that we have. Thank you.
And what will AOI do differently from existing marine institutions, Professor Mata?
What will AOI be doing differently? AOI hopes to be a center of excellence that will work at ensuring sustainable use of coastal and marine resources on the continent. And we are coming or going into that space on the continent with individual skills that we have, individual, can I say, resources that we have, intellectual resources that we have to support various economies to protect or conserve the coastal resources that we have on the continent. Now, what will we be doing differently? We have already been engaging various continental bodies, and like we've been saying, African Union and AU-IBA and other continental bodies. What we want to do now is to see ourselves having connections or satellite offices in various countries where we can push for demand-driven research to be conducted, develop common tools that we can use, tools that can be make our the data we collect them, whatever we do, comparable. So we, as AOI, we really want to work with various research institutions in the various countries, and we also want to work with governments. So that is it will be not only be us working alone, but we work with partners, governmental partners, and then research partners in various countries, and donors and all other people who are interested in coastal and marine domain to help bring sustainable use of coastal resources. Right. So I feel these are some of the things that we will be doing.
Right, right.
If I may.
Okay.
Right, so I believe that the issues that we face in Ghana with respect to the marine and coastal environment and across the continent is something that we all know. It is nothing new. If anything, it is becoming worse, so we are already aware of it. What has been different is how we approach solving the problem. Now, of course, there are several institutions, both at home in Ghana and across the continent, who have been working in the same area. So it is not like we are trying to replace existing institutions who are doing similar work. What we are trying to do is, one, to complement what they are doing, and two, to find innovative ways of solving the problem. So let me put it this way. As the Greek philosopher Aristotle put it, the whole is always greater than the sum of its parts. So if you look at the University of Cape Coast, the three institutions that we have put together to become one are doing things that overlap, that are similar, with different expertise. Now, the question is, what is the thing that we will do differently, as you put it? AOI is looking at things from a result or impact-oriented point of view.
Right.
So instead of individual scientist expertise looking at the same problem from different angles, we have to all sit around a table and look at the problem holistically and see how we can all work together. So we are working with economists, natural scientists, we are working with social scientists, legal expertise, policy makers, and policy expertise, and many, many others around a common problem. And by doing so, we tend to find other ways of addressing these issues instead of going through the normal ways of doing the same thing, which haven't yielded the desired result. So AOI seeks to find innovative ways of bringing all the stakeholders with different expertise around a common problem, and in doing so, the impacts that we will generate from it will be much better than anticipated.
In the next few years, how will success look like?
Well, there are many ways of measuring success, but of course, we are treading cautiously. We wouldn't be overambitious, but at least we need to start from home and from the region. So that is why I indicated earlier on that we are happy that we have already been working in the field, so this would not be a new thing. So success would mean transforming some of the actions that government take into results that benefit the communities. So an example, if we take the fisheries sector, where we have declining fisheries, small-scale fisheries in Ghana, how do we ensure that the livelihood of these people are not in jeopardy? Either we find better way of resourcing them to do other things or revamping the fisheries. So that is one thing. If you go across the West African region, there are common issues, transboundary issues that we can work together with our partners, and that is why my colleague said that we are looking at setting up offices in other parts of the continent, especially in the West Africa region, to work in other countries where similar issues exist so that we can find common solutions to them. So those are some of the things that I would see as a success at the end of the day.
How will Ghana benefit economically from becoming an African ocean hub?
How Ghana benefit economically?
Yeah.
This is the headquarters, or if I will call it that way, the head office of the African Ocean Institute. And it will be where we will start we are starting everything from. Nobody will mention AOI without mentioning Ghana. That is the first point of. So Ghana's name will be there, together with AOI and together with the University of Cape Coast. Two, wherever we go, we will sell Ghana. So for me, I think aside our work in the areas of blue economy, where we will make sure, support government to implement blue economy policies, support government to strategize for us to benefit more from our economic activities, coastal economic activities. I feel Ghana stands a huge chance of benefiting so much from the work we are doing.
Right. I would like to give you a minute each to give us your final words, then we wrap up this conversation. Professor Mata, let me begin with you.
In the first place, we want to say thank you to Joy News for accepting us here. We are assuring the public, that is government of Ghana, the people of Ghana, and the people of Africa, that we have a common problem to solve. That is the coastal degradation. We need everybody on board for us to work at it. So everybody should come on board for us to solve Africa's coastal problems.
Professor Asare, your final words?
Right, thank you. First of all, I want to say that the government of Ghana, and by extension all Ghanaians, would have a lion's share of whatever AOI has to offer the continent, since this is our home. So that's the first thing I would like to say. And secondly, I want to thank all the people back at the University of Cape Coast who have supported the journey from where we started to where we are now as an African nation. It hasn't been an easy journey, but we have come this far because there are certain seen and unseen individuals. One in particular is our current Vice Chancellor, Professor Dennis Wolanyo Aheto, who has been the bedrock of everything that we've done, as well as all the staff of the Department of Fisheries and Aquatic Sciences, the Center for Coastal Management, and also some, by extension, some departments and offices within the university. And it is by their contributions and support and effort that we've come this far. So I want to use that.
Thank you very much for your time. Noble Asare is the director for the Center for Marine Affairs, and Precious Mata is the acting executive director for the Africa Ocean Institute. Thank you once again. For street hawkers, every day in traffic comes with a price they cannot easily avoid: breathing polluted air. Now, a University of Cape Coast study suggests that what they eat could help reduce some of the health effects of that exposure. Michael Ashale reports.
When the lights turn green, the traffic moves, and so does the smoke. For street hawker Regina Tay, it is part of the job. Regina has asthma, but like thousands of other hawkers, she cannot simply walk away from the roadside. It is this reality that researchers at the University of Cape Coast set out to examine. The DMAP study followed 307 street vendors in Accra for 12 months, testing whether antioxidant-rich foods could reduce some of the effects of prolonged exposure to traffic pollution. Professor Kofi Amega is the principal investigator.
Street vendors are a very large and growing population in our cities because of rural-urban migration. And when they come here, they don't have any source of livelihood, and that is the more reason why you find them on our streets selling stuff for us, and then they are exposed to high levels of dangerous cocktail of pollutant for very long hours. So it's important that we protect their health.
The researchers provided some vendors with foods including oranges, peanuts, eggs and sardines, foods rich in antioxidants and other nutrients. And the findings suggest that diet could make a difference. Professor Amega explained why.
The evidence is not overwhelming, but it's supported by the biology. And the biology is that antioxidants are able to mop up free radicals, which are the pollutant. So we are advocating, or we are advising them to increase intake of antioxidant-rich foods like oranges, like all the fruits, vegetables, nuts, cooking oils, eggs, peanut, etc., which are very rich in antioxidants like vitamin C, like vitamin E, and selenium. And then we are also asking them to increase intake of omega-3 fatty acid food like fatty fishes, avocado, and then the healthy oils.
But the researchers are clear. Food is not a substitute for clean air. For the hawkers, the message is hitting home. And beyond nutrition, the Street Hawkers Association says the long-term solution must also help workers move away from the roadside.
Most of them need vocational skills. Others also are into entrepreneur. They need maybe some small capital to push them, because most of them have complete training. While we push them with small capital or whatever, they can start something.
The advice, therefore, is simple. Eat more fruits and vegetables, nuts, eggs and other antioxidant-rich foods, while also increasing intake of omega-3 rich foods such as fatty fish and avocado. For now, the message from the DMAP study is simple. While the fight for cleaner air continues, protecting those who cannot escape polluted air may also begin with what is on their plate. For Joy News, Michael Ashali. This story was a collaboration with New Narratives. Funding was provided by the Clean Air Fund, which had no say in the story's content.
From October 1st, Ghana will not open its ports to used vehicles older than 15 years and to any car that arrives without a certificate of conformity issued before it ever leaves its country of origin. The Ghana Standards Authority says this is not a ban, but an enforcement of standards long on the books since 2020, but with dealers, importers, and everyday car buyers scrambling to understand what changes and what doesn't. The question on many minds is simple. Will Ghana's used car market survive the shake-up, or will prices for the average buyer simply go up? Well, joining me in the studio this afternoon for more on this is Kofi Yaboah Deborah. He's the acting head of public relations at the Ghana Standards Authority, and Prentice Macmillan is the head of vehicle homologation unit at the Ghana Standards Authority to break down what's actually changing and what it means for every Ghanaian looking to buy a car. Gentlemen, welcome to the program. Kofi, let me begin with you, because we heard that this was going to affect cars which were 10 years or older. So why did it move from 10 to 15 years?
Right. Thank you very much for the audience. And just as we have been doing for a couple of years now, you rightly mentioned we have been working on this since 2020. And rightly so, we have been working with all the stakeholders involved in vehicle importation, vehicle assembly in Ghana, and importation of used vehicles into the country. So the ban moving from the 10 years, actually what the standard which we developed, which is GS 4510, what it has is that vehicles which are older than 10 years shouldn't be allowed into the country. I believe it's good to let our listeners aware that this is a practice which has been going on internationally. We have a lot of our neighboring countries who even have some way lesser than what we do. If you take Cote d'Ivoire, for example, their ban on importation of vehicles is just 5 years. If you go to Kenya, they have a ban on vehicles 8 years and above. And they have been running this for more than 20 years. So after a lot of stakeholder engagements, we came to a conclusion through the various feedback that we received from the general public that it was going to affect a lot of businesses and other things. So basically, our Director General, in the person of Professor George Ejay, together with his management and the board, they came up with an administrative decision to extend this to accommodate Ghanaians because it's a listening management. The Ghana Standards Authority is not simply looking forward to stopping people from importing vehicles, but rightly so, we want to make sure that the trajectory of what we are doing is focused on consumer health and protection.
Does it appear to me that the Ghana Standards Authority is undecided yet? Because you cited examples of our neighbors, Cote d'Ivoire, who have 5-year ban or 5 years for vehicles that are older than 5 years not to be imported into the country. You cited Kenya, that is 8 years. So that is almost double. What we are having is almost double Kenya. It's 4 times Cote d'Ivoire. So why are we relaxing the years when it comes to our country?
Sure. I will not simply label that as slowing down on what we are supposed to do. I would rather place it under the fact that we listen and we take constructive criticisms to make sure that whatever we are doing, it is to suit Ghanaians. If you take standard development, in as much as we have international standards for products and services, every country has liberty to develop standards to suit their economy. So in this case, what we develop, which has mainly been the contribution of all the stakeholders, this is what we came up to. But when this eventually came out, you need to take the sentiments of the general populace into perspective and not just simply to run them over with your policy and direction. So this is us being a listening authority or an administrative body to make sure that we put in the right measures to accommodate all these things. And also, we have to be aware that standards are, after several years, we meet again and amend if there has to be, or update it if there has to be, which is in a period of 5 years. So to begin with, this is what we are doing to make sure that we conscientize Ghanaians and individuals, car dealers, etc., who bring in vehicles into the country. This is a step in the right direction. But then again, we do not want to shove things down everybody's throat. We are taking it step by step.
Let me come to Prentice. There's also the issue of certificate of conformity verification. How would that be done?
So simply put, you have a third-party inspection body, an accredited one with the expertise in vehicle inspection in the country of origin that will carry out an inspection of a vehicle against the Ghana standard. And then they, on behalf of the Ghana Standards Authority, will issue that certificate of conformance. So simply put, you just have a third party who is checking to tell you that this vehicle that is bound for Ghana meets Ghana's standards and therefore can be shipped to Ghana. Basically, that's what it means. And that certificate of conformance is going to come directly to the GSA. So we have identified partners in the world who can do this on our behalf. They do this and they send it to us directly. We see this, and you, the exporter or importer, also know in advance if your vehicle meets Ghana's standards before it is ever even shipped to Ghana. It's important to note that this is done in the reverse in many situations as well. So if people are exporting things out of Ghana, the GSA and others in Ghana, we also carry out testing and inspection of these products to meet standards of those countries where our exports are going to. And after we have done so, we issue a certificate of conformance before they leave the shores of Ghana to go. A typical example is the European Union. The European Union has designated Ghana Standards Authority, to be precise, as its third-party inspection body for any fish, precisely tuna, leaving the Gulf of Guinea. So not just Ghana, the Gulf of Guinea. So if you should fish tuna from the Gulf of Guinea and it is bound for Europe, you come to Ghana, we inspect the ship, we test the fish. If it meets the requirement, we issue the certificate of conformance, we send this directly to the EU before you arrive. So this is how standards bodies and regulatory bodies work across the world.
Right.
We help each other to be able to make this happen. So this is the same process we are putting in for vehicles that are coming into the country.
What happens to a vehicle that arrives at the port on the 2nd of October, for instance, without proper documentation?
So if we are referring to the certificate of conformance, to be precise, if the ship arrived on 2nd October 2026, but it was shipped before 1st October, that vehicle will go through the normal process it was going through before this provision was made, and then they can clear. So whatever process they have been going through, ensure that you've paid your relevant duties, revenue, duties, taxes, levies, charges. You do exactly that. The 1st October date we gave is for pre-shipment. So we are saying that from 1st October, if you are going to ship a vehicle to Ghana, then from that date, you should have the vehicle inspected by one of our third-party inspection bodies. That is what that date is for. So we do acknowledge that such vehicles may start arriving in Ghana several weeks later, and that is fine. But from 1st October, do not put a vehicle on a ship if it does not have a certificate of conformance from one of our approved third-party inspection bodies.
Is this the same with the vehicles that are 15 years and over? They can come in even after 1st of October? Is that it?
No.
Okay.
After 1st October, vehicles older than 15 years before coming into the country are not going to be allowed.
What happens if they've arrived at the port on the 2nd of October?
Well, in actual fact, it takes you a couple of days to ship goods before it gets here. Some weeks, sometimes months.
Yeah.
Exactly. So as long as your shipment documents can tell us that the ship set sail before 1st October, like Prentice mentioned, we don't have any issue with that. But subsequently, because we have given a certain time frame to make sure that we are all well aware and have enough awareness on this subject matter, so that we don't fall victim of these activities.
When this announcement came out, it generated a lot of conversation on social media. One of them that I saw was that, okay, you're banning vehicles that are 15 years or older from entering into this country. What about those rickety vehicles on our roads that some have even spent like 30 years, 40 years in this country? What happens to those vehicles?
Right, that's actually a very good question, and I think we have come across it a couple of times. And the truth is that we have been working a lot with our sister agencies, which is the DVLA, Ghana Road Safety Authority. So there's a lot of work which is ongoing, and you will see more in the coming months. And then what we are putting in place is to make sure that for us as an authority, as Ghana Standards Authority, our interest in this case is to make sure that products which are being developed, which in this case you find vehicles as part of it, but are being manufactured from scratch or being assembled in the country, they follow a certain standard. So these are the things we are looking at. And also to make sure that anyone who wants to go into that business is going according to what the GS 450 has specified.
Okay, let me come to you. There is always the issue about vehicles that have been affected by floods, making their way into our country, finding their way onto the Ghanaian market. Of course, you've mentioned in your releases that these are also targeted vehicles that you do not want to come into this country at all. How are you going to detect that these are vehicles that were affected by floods, that were damaged, and so on?
So thank you very much for that question. You remember when I mentioned the third-party inspection bodies?
I do.
These are experts who know how to check these things. In fact, it is in you and I, our interest, not to let everybody know how it is that we check these things, so that people do not attempt to correct it, to hide it from coming in. But there are clear ways to check if vehicles have been indeed flooded, or they have been consumed by fire, or if they have their speedometer tampered with. So these things you've mentioned are all parameters in the same one Ghana standard GS 4510 that Kofi mentioned. It's just unfortunate that only the age became the issue being discussed. But the age was only one of several requirements in there. The speedometer should also be reading in kilometers per hour and not anything else. If it has something else in addition, fine. But if it is reading in something and there is nothing in kilometers per hour, which is what our road signs are all measuring in, then that such a vehicle should not come into our system. So it is the responsibility of these inspectors to check for each and every one of these parameters and more, which are in the standard. So if you ever have an opportunity to look at the standard, you will see that there are several other things that they are required to check and then issue an inspection report along with the certificate of conformance. So that will be covered by them, and people should not worry. It is, so you see, we are moving the responsibility from you, the individual importing, to the third-party inspection board. So I'm not saying you should check. I'm asking you, give it to an expert who knows how to check. Let them check, and then both you and I will know whether this vehicle is good enough to come to Ghana, and you would also get value for money from what it is.
Is there going to be an exception for vehicles older than 15 years? Because we know some vehicles that are older than 50 years, 60 years, they are in pristine conditions. In fact, they sell for millions of dollars sometimes. They're called what? Vintage vehicles or whatever. Are they going to be allowed, or they are all part of the ban?
Okay, so vintage vehicles are allowed. And what the administrative measures we have put down to accommodate this measure is to have individuals who want to bring in these vehicles for their use. You simply write a letter to the Director General of Ghana Standards Authority. You give out your reasons, etc. And in the same process as any other person bringing, whether a used vehicle or a brand new one, will go through the third-party inspection. You will also be directed to the third-party inspection body to conduct the test on the antique vehicle. Once it passes, and with the written approval of the Director General of Ghana Standards Authority, you'll be given the leeway to bring in that vehicle.
Is that the only exception, those vehicles, or there are exceptions also to other vehicles?
That is not the only. That is not the only exception. What I will add up is that in special cases where you have a lot of Ghanaians who are, I mean, we have Ghanaians all over the world. So we have some of them who have worked several years in other countries and they want to retire and come back home to continue their lives. These individuals are at liberty to write to the Ghana Standards Authority, to the Director General, giving the specific reasons why they would want to bring in those vehicles they have been using in the various countries into Ghana for them to use. And I'm sure definitely once management has a look at it, they will grant that permission.
Let's move away from vehicle, because your job extends beyond that. Not long ago, you raided the Ashaiman China Mall and then found some mattresses that used unapproved products to manufacture them. What has become of that case?
Okay, so for that one, our legal team is seriously working on it, and I would not want to speak much about it. But so far as it stands, every other thing else which we put in place in terms of the arrest, the seizure, the close down, everything is in effect, and we are just making sure that we regularize their work. What we are set out to do as an authority is to develop standards and promote trade through standardization, conformity assessment, and metrology. So in doing that, we do not seek to destroy businesses. For all these businesses who are using substandard materials to produce their products, what we do, we are not interested in simply shutting your business down. We are more interested in putting down corrective measures so that you can come out with a much better product for the Ghanaian market, not just to simply close you down and we jubilate that you have been shut down, because other people can simply go into that business. So we are taking them through the process, and eventually they will come out with good products.
Apprentice, that sort of became an online trend where people will cut their mattresses to see if the foam inside is original or not. Can you run us through how to determine, without cutting your mattress, if you can actually determine that this mattress that you are using is fishy?
So the simpler way, the best practice worldwide, is for you to buy a certified product. This is why we are doing what we do. So if a product has been certified, it means it's been inspected, it's been tested, and then it has been granted a license to do so. So that job of you cutting the mattress has been done by the regulatory body. The GSA should have done that already. So this was one of those unfortunate situations. People shouldn't go cutting. We just advise them, buy from certified, GSA certified people. Once this is done, that problem is solved. And it's the same thing we are doing also with the used vehicle, as we just described.
Right.
Have an inspection body carry out the inspection, and then you don't have to go through that process.
We have a little about 2 minutes to wrap up. Okay. But since you mentioned certified, are there cases where people fake GSA certification to pass by the system?
Oh, yes, yes.
Then that means the consumer is in trouble, because I will assume that this is a Ghana Standards Authority certified product that I'm buying, and I find out it's not.
So for if we are talking about the vehicles, we've actually put up a new electronic platform that all our third-party inspection bodies are going to use, as well as anybody who is importing a vehicle. When a COC is issued by the third party, you don't bring it to us. The third party sends it to us directly. So before your vehicle arrives in Ghana, we already know the condition of the vehicle, and we have a copy of that report already, and we know what the authentic report is. So whatever you will show to an inspector at the point of entry, they are going to check that against what is in the system to be able to avoid this problem where people will be generating their own certificates of conformance and then deceiving others with it.
Kofi,
just quickly. We will provide a QR code on a conformity sticker that will be on every unit of vehicle coming. If you are a consumer, you didn't bring the vehicle, you can scan that QR code with your phone, and it should give you a view of the certificate of conformance for the vehicle in front of you. So you can check without asking the seller or anybody as to whether the vehicle in front of you is really the one that's the document they are showing you. You can get the correct one from us directly.
Kofi, you want to add something to that?
Yes, so you were asking about whether there are certain manufacturers who use the Ghana Standards certification mark or the product certification mark without authorization. And yes, there are measures to curb these things. The Ghana Standards Authority Act 2020, Act 10038, and Act 1038. So the section 65 of our act says that individuals or businesses who use the Ghana Standards Authority mark without authorization are liable to a summary conviction of 2,000 penalty units, between not less than 2,000 penalty units and not more than 4,000 penalty units, or not less than, or to a term of imprisonment not less than 6 months and also not more than 4 years, or to both. And then again, subsequently, it goes on to say that for every day that this contravention continues, we can charge up to 100 penalty units each day this contravention continues. So there are measures to curb these practices going on, because it is, and some people have fallen victim of it. So yes, we have measures to curb all these things.
Kofi Yeboah Deborah, thank you for coming this afternoon. He's the acting head of public relations at the Ghana Standards Authority. Prentice Macmillan is also the head of the Vehicle Homologation Unit at the Ghana Standards Authority. Gentlemen, grateful that you could join me this afternoon. Away from that, at least 23 lives have been lost to abandoned illegal mining pits in the Ashanti region, with a significant number of them being miners. Although 19 bodies have been retrieved from the open pits, the remaining 4 are still trapped deep in the pits. This was revealed by the Ashanti Regional Minister Frank Boahene during the commissioning of the new ultra-modern office complex for the Minerals Commission in Kumasi. Emmanuel Bright-Kweku has more in this report.
Across the Ashanti region, many pits originally operated by illegal miners remain open and abandoned, posing danger to residents.
The issue of illegal mining continues to bedevil our lands.
Speaking at the commissioning of the new office complex for the Minerals Commission, Regional Minister Dr. Frank Boahene recounted that more than 20 lives, including children, have been lost to the pits. Many of them, he says, were farmers accessing their farmlands for produce. As a result, he emphasized that the Regional Security Council, with the support from the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, has begun reclamation efforts to cover all abandoned illegal mining pits dotted across several communities.
As I stand here as head of research, within the period under review, 23 lives have been lost only because they were going to their farms and fell within pits that were left uncovered by miners within the various areas. As part of the 23 people, only 19 people have been recovered from these pits. The remaining 4 of them, we've not still been able to find their bodies. These includes 11 children whose future has been cut short because someone in his quest for money left a pit uncovered within some of these areas that leads to farmlands, among others. Looking at this problem and with the support of the minister, the National Security, together with the ministry, has started a reclamation effort in order that we will be able to target these uncovered pits that fall within the areas where people actually fall in and drown.
The regional minister further noted that through the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, the security services, together with the Forestry Commission, they have been able to remove all permanent structures, especially filling stations developed in the region's forest reserves.
I also want to thank the ministry that as part of your effort in supporting us to be able to fight illegal mining, we want to appreciate that you have successfully helped us to move every permanent structure within the region that fell within the forest reserve. So in time past, there used to be filling stations well established within forest reserves to support mining activities within the forest reserves here in Ashanti region. As I speak with you now with the support of the ministry, there is no forest reserve in the Ashanti region with a filling station or a permanent structure here in Ashanti region. Can you see the support of the minister and the ministry?
Dr. Boahene further noted that the government, in collaboration with the UK government, has erected permanent camps and structures along rivers in the region to be occupied by forest guards to safeguard the forest and water bodies. For Joy News, I am Emmanuel Bright-Kweku.
We're still on illegal mining. The National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat, NIMOS, has intensified its campaign against illegal mining in the western region, disrupting several illegal mining activities threatening the river Ankobra within the Ablebo general area of the Elembele district. 3 suspected illegal miners have been arrested and handed over to the police in Exim for further investigations, while a number of Shamfan machines and water pumps sitting on the water have been destroyed. Erastus Asaridonko reports.
The river Ankobra is one of the major water bodies that has experienced chronic pollution by illegal miners for gold. From 2022, its pollution levels have worsened, with turbidity running in the thousands. Despite series of raids by NIMOS, illegal miners are still defiant. The National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat has begun a series of raids aimed at dismantling these illegal mines and taking the equipment off the river. The operation has so far seen the destruction of 86 Shamfan machines, 11 water pumps, and 2 makeshift structures. 3 people have been arrested so far. With the help of the Ghana Integrated Iron and Steel Development Corporation, NIMOS is removing floating equipment on the river to be used as scraps. The operational commanders believe the scale of equipment destroyed will significantly reduce the capacity of the illegal miners to continue operating in the affected area to enable them remove mining infrastructure from sections of the Ankobra River corridor. Reporting for Joy News, Erastus Asaredonko, Kumasi.
A key, a knife, and a 12-year-old girl running for her life. Her crime, allegedly taking what wasn't hers. Her punishment, wounds carved into her back. In the following report, we expose the hidden scars of discipline in Ghana, where 85% of children feel pain instead of love, and the law still protects the abuser. The story of 12-year-old Akosia Mansa, whose stepmother used a key and knife to discipline her, will break your heart, but her hope for the future will inspire you. Watch the full feature to see how SOS Children's Villages is fighting back with positive parenting.
A key is meant to open doors, but for 12-year-old Akosia Mansa, not her real name, a key became a weapon. Her stepmother accused her of stealing a key and some money. The punishment, the sharp edge of a key dragged across her back, her arms, under her armpits until she bled. Then a knife to the back of her hands.
She used a key in her hands. She first slapped me a number of times till she saw blood on her hands, and then she washed her hands and then used the key to scratch my back and hands.
Akosia ran to her headmaster. Neighbors intervened. Police arrested the stepmother.
I cried, and our landlord heard it. He then rushed to help. When he came, he saw the blood in my shirt and a part of the shirt torn apart.
Akosia's case is not isolated. It is a window into a quiet epidemic. Between 2024 and 2025, the Bono East region recorded a steady increase in child abuse reports. ASP Ama Nyanko Winifred is the Bono East regional head of the Domestic Violence and Victims Support Unit, DOVSU. Says when a child is abused, the wound on the body may heal, but the wound in the heart stays forever.
As humans, we all know the effect of child abuse in our society. We will see the physical scars on the body. We will see them. So even that one, sometimes it can be treated. But what of the emotional abuse? When the child is traumatized, how are we going to erase it from the child's mind? Because there are scenes when you sit back and you recall that act is even more serious than the physical scars that we see on our bodies. So abuse is something we all need to come together to help eradicate.
Experts call it intergenerational trauma. Parents repeat what they survived because they know no other way. And in some communities, reported cases of parents who abuse their children are being massaged or killed instantly or asked to be settled at home.
In our society or community, when somebody does something to a child, they will just be pleading, calling. The thing will be at the police station. And you see people going there. So people are doing it because they know, after all, it will be taken back home. You will settle.
But there is hope. Traditional leaders, DOVSU and child protection agencies are now calling for public awareness campaigns in rural languages and stronger enforcement of existing child protection laws.
So please, our opinion leaders, they should just be frank with our families, with our friends. When issues of child abuse crops up, I'll plead with them. They shouldn't interfere. They should let the law take its own course. The appropriate punishment should be given to the culprit. I'm against child abuse, and I'll not sit back and watch you abuse a child. That's why you have me to contend with.
Approximately 3.4 million children in Ghana have experienced physical or emotional abuse. Nationally recognized institutions like UNICEF report that 57.5% of children, mostly between the ages of 2 to 14, experience physical violence, often masked as discipline. Other prevalent forms of abuse include sexual violence, emotional abuse, child marriage, and child trafficking. Akyea is now in a safe place. Her physical wounds are healing. The emotional scars, that will take years. The woman who hurt Akyea is behind bars for 4 months. But real justice will come when no child has to run to a headmaster to escape their own home. Let this be the generation that breaks that cycle. This story is brought to you by Joy News in partnership with SOS Children's Village, Ghana.
Assembly members in the Bosomtwe district of the Ashanti region have petitioned President Mahama to remove their district chief executive, Hamidu Abdallah, over allegations of persistent overspending and commercialization of district road improvement program equipment. The assembly members say the overspending and the commercialization of DRIP are only 2 of 9 major concerns, pushing them to threaten a vote of no confidence against the DCE if the president fails to act. The following report has more.
At a press conference, the assembly members said an audit report has exposed excessive spending on administrative expenses, particularly on communication, despite budgetary provision for laptops to make communication with members cheaper and more efficient. Aside from the audit concerns is what they describe as deliberate obstruction of the district road improvement program. According to the petitioners, the Member of Parliament for Bosomtwe has pledged to fill the drip machines to work for 2 days in each electoral area to reshape inner roads in all 67 communities. They allege, however, that the DC has refused to release the machines for the MP's initiative while these equipment are being commercialized.
There are some issues going on in our district which borders the relationship between our honorable DCE and the way of his modus operandi, which doesn't go well. It's inappropriate use of drip machines. The inner roads of almost all our 67 communities needs to be reshaped, but the honorable DCE is denying us this great opportunity. Meanwhile, when others pay cash to use the drip machines for their private purposes or for community pays cash to the assembly for its use, the machines are quickly released. Should an honorable assembly member request for street lights, the only answer he or she gets is it was not captured in the budget. They are about 9, and as we petition the President, His Excellency, to take him out of office or permit us to have a vote of no confidence against Honorable Engineer Hamidu Abdallah, the DCE for Bosomtwe.
The DCE, Engineer Hamidu Abdallah, has, however, dismissed all allegations.
Glancing from the petition, this is just on the site. The name mentioned here is not actually my name. Actually, it's what's wrong. So probably my assembly members even know the district chief executive they are working on. So friends from the media, this I believe is what has been leveled against me as a petition to get me out of the office by the assembly member for Akufo-Addo. Let me put this on record. I have said this countless times that I, Engineer Hamid, I'm never afraid to lose political office. Political power is transient. Today I'm here, tomorrow I'll not. But if I'm to leave this office, I need to go on a tangible reasons. Things that tomorrow everybody say, oh, this is what he did and you are going home. But if these are the charges leveled against me that I should go home, honestly, it's a bit worrying. On the issue of the drip machines, when I became chief executive, drip machines were allocated close to 500,000 as funds for the operation and the running of the drip machines. I came in to meet a zero account. The accounts for the drip machines were zero. So we're still in the process of talking to local government and that of the assembly as to how to generate revenue to run the machines. We can't sit and talk about this, that we have to do a press conference to address these basic issues.
Meanwhile, government appointees to the Bosomtwe District Assembly have dissociated themselves from a planned vote of no confidence. Justice Adama Patrick speaks for them.
So if you're an assembly member, your people have voted for you to come and champion developments in the area, and you have come and you are fighting over tablet and some other trivial matters, and even based on these trivial issues being raised, you are calling for the removal of the district chief executive. That is uncalled for. But I see it as a partisan politics kind of move. We, the appointees, are not aware. We haven't had any discussion relating to these issues that they have raised.
For Joy News, Nana Ojima, Kumasi.
Health authorities are warning about the growing use of shisha among young people, particularly girls, amid concerns that flavored tobacco products are creating a false impression that they are safer. The Director of Tobacco and Substance Abuse at the Food and Drugs Authority says shisha, like other tobacco products, poses serious health risks and must not be treated as a safer alternative. Stephen Mensah reports.
The Food and Drugs Authority says the tobacco industry is increasingly targeting young people with products in flavors such as strawberry and vanilla marketed as safer alternatives, but insists there is no safe form of tobacco use.
You know, tobacco is a product that has no health benefits, but a lot of people are using it. They come in various forms like shisha, cigarette, vapes, cigar, snuff, and others. But what that we want to say is that we want to educate the general public. We want them to understand that tobacco has a lot of harm. It causes a lot of harm to the body as far as health is concerned. It can cause cancer. It causes hypertension, diabetes, blindness, low sperm count, infertility, and a whole lot of issues. The body wrinkles, tooth decay, psoriasis, emphysema, everything. For instance, during the COVID, those who died, a lot of people who died had their lungs, compromised. They didn't have healthy lungs. That's why they died. So all I want to say is that tobacco is not good for the human being.
The health authorities also indicate that they are working with the Ghana Police Service, Narcotics Control Commission, and relevant security agencies to seize unauthorized and unapproved products and enforce existing regulations.
Because the industry players this time, they come with different flavors, telling you like shisha. They have strawberry flavor, they have vanilla, and they will tell you that it's a very safer form of tobacco, but that's not true. Every form of tobacco is dangerous to our health. And that's why we are trying to portray to the general world, so that we abstain or withdraw from smoking. The girls are more into shisha than the boys. So it's becoming more and more dangerous. That's why we have to educate the general public, especially the children. But as we speak, no shisha has been registered with the Food and Drugs Authority. But anywhere you go in town, you find shisha being used. So we also try to clamp down on them, make sure that we seize and then take them through the legal processes. But it's still coming because we have a lot of unapproved routes. And we are trying our best with the police, Narcotics Control Commission, immigration, and then, Ghana Revenue Authority to make sure that we seize these items and then find them or prosecute them.
The Food and Drugs Authority says greater public education is needed to discourage young people from taking up tobacco while reducing the complications from its use. Stephen Mensah for Joy News.
The pause returns after this break. Welcome back. Ghana has emerged winner of the second edition of the Onga Jollof Battle, West African edition, held at the La Palm Royal Beach Hotel here in Accra. The competition brought together national champions from across West Africa to battle for culinary supremacy and showcased their skills in preparing one of the region's most popular dishes. The following report has more.
We're live at the Onga Jollof Battle, West African Edition 2, where Ghana, Nigeria, Senegal, Sierra Leone and Cote d'Ivoire have battled for the ultimate jollof crown. The polls have spoken, the judges have decided, and we now have a champion. Let's hear from the people at the heart of today's showdown.
Put your hands together for the Black Star!
DJ Alright, so the winner has been declared. Ghana has won. How do you feel? How do you feel?
I feel so good. It hasn't been an easy day, but then at least they paid. So we are happy to have won the second edition of the West African Jollof Battle, Onga Jollof Battle.
Did you expect that you were going to win this, or it was a surprise?
We actually gave it our all, because Ghanaians were all over making a lot of noise, but as usual, Jollof impeded it. So we were like, shh. But then it paid off, so we won. We want to tell Promasidor to keep doing what they keep doing, like giving us the best seasonings in the country. And then all their other brands. We say a very big thank you to Promasidor for giving us this opportunity to exhibit what we have to give to Ghanaians. And we are happy we won to make Ghana proud.
Nigeria, please, how do you feel? Is it disappointing for you?
No, so I don't feel disappointed at all, because I mean, Jollof is a very dynamic mix and diverse. So you can tell from the margin, it's just little points. So I mean, somebody will still compare, doesn't mean that the food was tasting bad or not. But I mean, it's a competition. There will always be winners. So I'm great. So I'm feeling good.
I want to know how do you feel today with the whole contest? Was it fair?
Yeah, well, actually, we are not that much good the way the competition turned out, because we are expecting a first place. We did our best. Everybody was praising the taste of our food. So with that, we are expecting at least to get a second place, if not the first place. Because we know for a host country to lose a battle like this is not easy. So we actually appreciate somehow the position we got in the competition.
But do you think the judgment was fair? The judges did a fair judgment?
Well, as for me, I don't think it was fair, because from the crowd, what the crowd we are saying about the food, the crowd was saying that the food is very good, it's tasty, the presentation is well. Some were even cheering us that we will come first. But at the end of the day, they told us we are the third place. So you see, that makes us to be sad somehow. But on the overall, at least we are going home with something. We are very much happy about that. We are not losers. You see, we got something to take home to our people. So at least they will appreciate us.
Congratulations to all the participants. They are national champions in their various countries. They flew in 3 days ago to Ghana to battle and represent their countries. More like an AFCON, right? What I'm saying is, look, they've done so well. All their foods look delicious and taste delicious. For the winner, Ghana, we took it from Nigeria this time around. Congratulations to Chef Gigi. Wish her all the best. Going home with $5,000 is a big thing.
So the winners are walking away with $5,000. This year, Ghana has won the Onga Jollof Challenge, and trust me, everywhere is lit. They're excited. $5,000. They are walking away with that and other souvenirs as well. This is amazing. And you can get this from nowhere but Onga. This is the second edition, and Ghana has been crowned as the winner of the Onga Jollof Challenge.
So when you share face to face, DJ face and beat, I'm locked down with you.
And there you have it, 5 countries, 1 unforgettable Jollof Battle and 1 champion. The Onga Jollof Battle West African Edition 2 has delivered flavor, rivalry, culture and plenty of fun. From the La Palm Royal Beach Hotel in Accra, the Jollof Crown has found its way home, at least until the next battle.
And reigning NSMQ champions in Thansifim School will begin their title defense on Thursday when they face affiliate school Wesley Girls High School and Afiakobi Girls SHS. In all, 81 schools will battle for just 27 places in the quarter-final stage for the 2026 National Science and Maths Quiz. The next 3 days of 1/8 contest promises more intriguing matchups, and my colleagues Collins, Ramat and Michelle will join me shortly to look ahead of the fixtures. NSMQ record holders Preseg Legon are also promising a different campaign this year after last season's disastrous quarterfinals exit. With redemption on their minds, the 8-time champions will lead by last year's contestant Jason Atta Akyea as they chase a record-extending 9th title. Before we hear from Preseg, here is Michelle Latte with a report on the 1/8 balloting.
Reigning champions in Thansifim School begin their title defense, but standing in their way are Wesley Girls High School and Afiakobi Girls in what promises to be a fascinating battle of brains and perhaps a little love chemistry of another kind.
For Port A, that's in Thansifim School. So we'll pick from Port B and then Port C. Ayaka. From Port B, Wesley Girls High School.
8-time champions Preseg Legon lock horns with St. Louis SHS and Islamic SHS Kumasi. The Blue Magicians may have the biggest trophy cabinet, but the other two schools have no intention of treating this as a museum tour.
So if they are coming to meet St. Louis Senior High School, they should know that we are the pace setters and we set the pace for others to follow.
Then there's an all-Accra showdown with Achimota School, Accra Girls SHS and Accra High battling for one ticket and the city's bragging rights. 5-time champions Prempeh College opened the stage of the competition facing Kumasi Girls and West Africa SHS, who unseats the other in this exhilarating stage of the competition as 81 schools prepare for an academic smackdown to secure a safe spot for next year.
Well, Jason and his teammates have been speaking to my colleague Collins Frimpong about their campaign after arriving for the contest.
Well, as usual, we are coming fully prepared and our expectations are high. So, yeah, our expectations are high. So we are hopeful that God being on our side, we put our best of performance. Thank you.
Let me hear from you. You have been part of the team so far. Preparations, how have they been so far?
While preparations may have been a bit challenging at first, we've been able to overcome all these challenges, and we hope that right now we are in the best possible form in order to bring the cup back home.
Quick one, just 30 seconds. Last year I saw you on stage. You tried your best, even though it wasn't enough. This time around you are coming back again, and I know there are a lot of people who are looking up to you. You yourself, how do you assess your chances?
Well, looking at how much you've put into this, looking at how much you've prepared, I would say that by God's grace, you have a pretty good chance of winning this. But the most important thing for us is to glorify God. That's all.
Are you better than last year? I mean, the whole team, not only you.
Yes, the whole team is better. We have worked on our mistakes and we have improved.
Are you delivering the knife?
We are going to deliver the knife.
So that's the record title holders, Preseg Legon. They are 8-time champions. Last year, it didn't really go as they were expecting, but this time around, they are back again, hoping that they get the 9th title.
The 1/8 contest begin tomorrow. With Prempeh College facing West Africa School and Kumasi Girls Senior High School. Let's take you live to Cape Coast, where preparation is currently ongoing, and my colleague Collins Frimpong is joining us with the very latest.
Ken, welcome to Cape Coast. Currently here we are at where the students are basing. That's the superannuation, a hostel on the University of Cape Coast campus. And it's been an interesting day so far since after the balloting yesterday. We got to know the schools that are competing from tomorrow till Friday. You know, tomorrow we are going to have 9 separate contests that are going to happen across 3 various auditoriums. And at each time there will be 3, and one of them will be also on TV, Joy News and Joy Prime, and also the remaining 2 contests that will also be happening alongside the one on TV will also be live on our YouTube page that you can check them. But after the balloting, it's been an interesting conversation on social media and even on campus here that we find ourselves. We know some of the matchups that are coming up, and in the interesting one, especially with the Central Region interest, is Contest 18, where we are having current title holders who they've won it 4 times, and the last 2 editions they have won it. I'm referring to Infantsep and Boche. This time around, they're also coming up against Wesley Girls. They are the only girls' school to make it to the semi-final on multiple occasions. And this time around, they came in as on senior school, but they did well in the prelims, and they were myself and other people were tipping that maybe they'll get a favorable draw and progress to the quarterfinal, semi-final, and even the final, and perhaps win it. But this time around, they've been handed a very difficult one. They are coming up against that of Infantsep. That it's not going to be an easy contest there. So in terms of the Central Region interest, yes, there is this kind of fear in there that maybe Wesley Girls may not progress, but you may not know what will happen in Contest 18. It's going to be an intriguing one, a very interesting matchup that will come on. And also we have Contest 16 coming up. You know, record title holders Presec Legon who also meet the likes of St. Louis SHS, who are also coming in as one of the schools with the highest scores from prelims. You know, they had 69 points, and also that's another school also had 69 points. That's Kumasi Anglican Cast. They also had 69 points. So St. Louis is a free scoring school, so they don't really mind. And another interesting aspect is that they have a coordinator who led Ameniampong to the semi-final last year. So we don't really know what will be happening. But I'm not doing this alone, Ken. My colleagues, Michelle Latte, as well as Ramat Bashir, will be joining me. While they get ready to join me, the 2026 National Science and Maths Quiz is produced by Primetime Limited and sponsored by the Ghana Education Service with support from Gold PLC, Prudential Life Insurance, Pepsodent, Cowbell, and we have Truster AI, Jupe Money Transfer, Lumivas, GTP, Spain City Laundromat, Didi Jollof, Bell Beverages, Accra College of Medicine, and Coronation Insurance. The broadcast on Joy News is sponsored by Vitamilk, Entrance University of Health Sciences, and Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, and also broadcast partners. We have Fruitally, Excellence Publications, Stationery, Excellence Publications and Stationery, Didi Shuto, Nataraj, Virtual Security Africa, Left Signature Limited, Synthes Tank, Doormaster, New Crystal Hospital, Palm University College, Ajuda, Prospectus Ghana Limited, Family Health University, and Miss Water. Michelle Latte and Ramat Bashir are joining me. You know, yesterday at the main auditorium, it was an interesting one. The famous Akyea came on stage when we saw in Contest 18 a match between Wesley Girls and that of Infantsep. First of all, what's your impression about the whole balloting?
It was transparent. I mean, Primetime and Joy News, we had nothing to do with the balloting. You actually saw them calling the Director of Education at the Central Region, some of their sponsors, to come and choose from Port A, Port B, Port C to do the balloting. So none of them know which school they were picking. And so when the Jupe people came and she picked, the first school she picked was Infantsep School. And then I
bet you she didn't really try for the female schools, and I am sad she did that.
It is no fault of hers because she never...
I'll blame her.
So you saw Mr. Adu actually when she picked the second one from Port B, and then she showed the thing to him because she needs to show it to him for him to announce it before she also shows it to the camera. She did that, and when she showed it to Mr. Adu, we heard Akyea.
And that has been trending on social media. You can find that particular video on our social media page, from X, Facebook, YouTube, to even TikTok. You can find them, as well as Facebook. Let me hear from Michelle too. Michelle, we're all in the auditorium, main auditorium, witnessing their balloting. First of all, what do you make of it?
Just as Romat said, it was very fair. You see, when it comes to balloting, it's just like how do you bet on something. I saw a few people talking about the whole parents. So for Infantipim, Wesley Girls, and Ifiakobi Ampim coming together, a lot of people I think had already put some money on it that they were going to meet. So the only thing I heard aside from the Ayeka was Afa.
Oh, really? Oh, that's a new thing to me. Actually, I didn't hear that.
So that was around just where I was seated, and I realized that I was asking if they had put a bet or something on it, and yeah, they were like, yeah, some people had done some
drone parents
exactly, and so for some it went well for them, but I think all the this year it looks like a lot of competitions across. For me, yeah, for Accra alone, for Achimota coming against Accra High and also Accra Girls, that's so much. That's so much for Accra.
Let's delve deep into the contests that are coming up. You know, you are starting the 1A stage tomorrow, and it will end on Friday. Where contest 1, we have Prempeh College, who are coming in. They are coming up against a familiar school. Actually, all the 2 schools that they will be meeting, Prempeh knows something about them. So Prempeh against West Africa Senior High School, as well as Kumasi Girls.
Yeah. Prempeh College, I think they met WAS. That was in 2018. That was the first time ever West Africa Senior High School were able to qualify to the finale. And so this is going to be a painful story and a painful reminder for Prempeh College.
Prempeh will be seeking a revenge.
Absolutely. But whilst I observed their contest in the main auditorium, and I'm not sure they are also coming into that state to joke. They did so well. They have a Nigerian lady they're also bringing on board. So let's see how it goes for them.
Michelle, what do you make of that particular contest, which is likely to be on TV?
I think for me, my concern mainly is for the girls' school that is paired with the 2 others. I mean, Strong Forces and also one Kumasi Girls. They are, I should call it average as at this time.
Kumasi Girls also met another Kumasi school in the prelims. That's Ofoase-Ayirebi Senior High School, and they were able to walk over them.
Yeah, so
maybe they can do it this time.
Based on current situation, but I think everyone comes in with a different kind of preparation. I don't think that any school is going to let their guards down, especially knowing that this is a chance for them to go beyond the 1A stage and probably get themselves a seed. So I'm expecting some very tough competition to be put up there. But you don't know anyone's preparation. So,
So Prempeh College arrived yesterday here in Cape Coast, and they've done their registration, everything. You've been engaging them. You can you can get a full interview on our social media platforms. That's X, Facebook, YouTube, and also on TikTok. And the contestant said they are not here to joke. They are ready. And let me paraphrase him. They call him La Puga. And he has been in the NSMQ Junior Championship before in the Ashanti region. And you know what happened. Even though he couldn't win, he came second. But this time around, he is coming in, and he said that during his conversation with Jacqueline, he said that they are coming to lash the schools. That's the exact word he used. Lashed.
National Science and Maths is just interesting. I'm just waiting for tomorrow. Hopefully, I want to hear, go there, Prempeh. Go there, Was. As people are just sarcastic. When they're in the auditorium and they notice that you are losing, they'll just be like, go there, Prempeh. Go there, Was. But like Michelle mentioned, you know, competition is just unpredictable, especially for the schools that had the highest scores at the regional stage. They came to the nationals and we've seen nothing from them. They are going home. And so for the 54 hungry qualifiers, They are ready to stand the 27 seeded schools, but this time around, the 27 seeded school must either defend their seed to progress to the next,
or they lose it.
Right. And the hungry qualifiers are also ready to either get seeded or also progress to the next stage.
Interesting. So the next contest involves Keta Senior High Technical School, KJB Asato Senior High School, and Presby Senior High Technical School also coming in there. We know what Keta has been doing in the national championship quite a few times now, and they've been impressive. Michelle, what do you make of that particular contest coming up? Especially, we don't really know what these seeded schools are bringing on board, given the fact that, previous years we used to have national championship and you get to see these schools, the kind of preparation that they've put up and what they can bring on board in the national championship. This time around, you don't have that opportunity. So you can't really stick your neck out and say that Keta or this particular school is bringing in this particular students who have done so well in various contests or previous contests.
No warming up for any of the seeded schools. But
let's try out.
But for this particular contest there, if I was supposed to make predictions right now, I'll still go with the seeded school currently as a noun. But
that's Keta?
Yes, exactly. And my reason is with the past performances they've been able to put up, and based on the kind of performances the two other schools, KJB Asato SHS and also Inum Presby SHTS, have been able to put up so far. Unless they do something different, the story might not change. I'm just saying, just playing it safe here. The story might not change if they don't do anything different. Because I realize that some of the schools, I don't know why, but they don't really anticipate some kind of toughness in the questions when they proceed to the next stage. And I'm like, so long as you are moving, you should expect more. And you should expect to put up a better performance, because if you even look at the scores they even proceed with, there's a high chance that if you are not even scoring higher, you are not moving with higher scores, there's a very high chance that you are not so much prepared for the next stage. So I'm just hoping that probably they can put up a better performance. But me, for this particular one, my predictions will go towards the side of Keta.
Right, so Keta is coming in as a seeded school. You covered the Volta region and as well as the OT zone. Briefly, what do you make of that contest? Because we have Keta and also another school from the Volta region, KJB.
Usually, I don't like to even, from tomorrow, I'm not going to meet any of the schools I met at the regional and say all the best. Ask me why. The people I've met and I tell them all the best, it didn't really end well for them. So I'm not ready to do that. But KJB Asato, they are from
the OT region, yes.
Yes. It was just obvious from the beginning. They dominated the contest. But like I mentioned, regionals is very different from the nationals. Regionals, they didn't have the problem of the day round. It was just 4 rounds. The nationals, the pressure is intense. And we know Keta School, they are very confident. I've followed their contest throughout when since they became seeded, and so let's expect something crazy, nothing but the best.
All right, so in contest 3 we have Ghana National College, Presby Senior High School, Sohom, St. Monica's. Michelle, you should take that because you covered that of the Ashanti Regional Zone, and so maybe you have an idea of what St. Monica's will be bringing on board. We know Ghana National College already. Just in about 30 seconds, what do you make of the contest so that we move to the contest 4?
Munche came away with some kind of energy this year because they've been away for 2 years from the national stage, and they are hoping to make it better. The kind of performance they put up at the regional stage, still within the average, but I'm just hoping that this time they can push in through to be able to secure themselves a seat. For Presby SHS, the Presby SHS from Suhum, they also, because of how their whole, if I want to really talk about it, their whole emotion with they're losing their coordinator and everything.
Is it one of the coordinators or the main?
The main coordinator that they have for the school, they've lost him just a week ago. So I'm hoping it doesn't take a toll on them. They were able to put up a very good performance during the prelims. So I'm hoping that they can also put up a very good performance as they head on, because I think they would be more broken. So I'm just hoping they can force through.
May the coordinator so rest in peace. Let's look at contest 5, St. Peter's. Contest 4, Ofoase-Ayirebi Senior High School, Senior School coming in for Presby Senior High Technical School, Osino, and Ahantaman Girls SHS. You know, Presby Senior High School, Presby Senior High Technical School did dealt with Agri Memorial.
It was very sad. Very, very sad. Because like I mentioned, next time I will not even meet the schools I met at the regionals and tell them all the best. Because I met them at the regionals, when they entered, I told them, all the best. And they started so well until we got to True or False and the Redo, and Osino was able to take the final ticket. But Ofoase-Ayirebi Senior High School, I'm expecting them to come up with a fantastic performance to impress Otumfo Ofoase-Ayirebi. They are Santihene.
Right, yesterday we had an interview with them and they are hoping that they will go far. They were praying that they will get favorable draw, and I think they had, because if you're looking at the school, no disrespect to any of them, but these are the schools that maybe you want to meet in the early stages so that you see what you can do. Let's look at St. Peter's SHS, or for Penning SHS Winneba, and also let's look at Pope John SHS Sogakope. We have Sunrise Christian High School. Any of the two, you can pick one of them in about 10 seconds.
I think Sunrise has been talking so much about I think they are trying to defend the private schools more, because there were just 4 private schools and now there are just two in the contest. So it's a chance.
There's 3 now, because Olag is coming in as a seeded school from the Ashanti region.
Coming in as a seeded school, but just on the side of just the qualifiers from the prelims, they are just 2. So in all 3 now going on, and I think this is a chance for them, aside from Olag, for them to also join in, probably get seeded. But I've seen them talk a lot about the chances they have ahead of them. As a private school, you'd always want to separate what it looks like for a private school and what the story looks like for a public school. So I'm hoping to see something from them. So Gakope SHS, yesterday, the kind of performance they had 50, finished with a tie. So Gakope didn't have the tiebreaker, but yesterday's performance was fairly good. So I'm hoping that they also can put up a better one.
We have contest 9 likely to be on TV. St. Augustine's College coming up against Alo Senior High School and Kumasi High School. Quick one. Then we move straight down to contest 18.
Okay, but before that, pardon me, let me just talk about the 2 Eastern Regionals.
Just do that in 10 seconds, briefly.
Okay. You know Pope John Senior High School, their coordinator, he was the reason in Price Senior High School got a seed. 3 times now they've been seeded. And now he's moved to PJ, like the Armenian coordinator. And so let's expect something crazy, because PJ is already seeded. And the coordinator who got a first-time school to get seed is also going there. St. Augustine's College, when we went to Cape Coast Town to speak to the people, there is high anticipation among the indigenes of Central Region. They're expecting a lot from them, and so let's see how it goes for them.
All right, so let's look at contest 18. In contest 18, we have current champions and Mfansepem who are looking forward to make it 3 times consecutively, winning the national championship. So Mfansepem School is coming up against Wesley Girls High School, and we have Efiakobi Girls SHS also coming in. This one, I want both of you to share your view on it. But there's an interesting fact about contest 18. In contest 18, one interesting thing is that, you know, in 2022-2023, we have Presec Legon in contest 18. 2022, they were in contest 18. 2023, they were in contest 18. Presec Legon came on top as national champions. They won the 2.
I have titled this contest Ayeka contest. Yes. And even before we started, I was telling you that even though Mfansepem School is not my school, Wesley Girls is not my school, and Efiakobi Girls is also not my school, but it will be very sad to see that the defending champions, Mfansepem, you are currently holding a crown or a trophy. Oh, it's just going to be very sad. And if they don't qualify at this stage, it means that they have to go back to scratch. And starting from the regionals is not easy to come and even get a seed. So, this contest here,
this is the only period I have felt that maybe a second runner-up should be considered. Oh. This is the only period in the National Science and Maths.
If you go on social media, when we posted the balloting video, a lot of people are saying, oh, can't something be done about this? people are also saying that, okay, this time we'll show our husbands. I mean, the ladies saying that. But a lot of people wish that we can do the balloting again. But unfortunately, transparency is at its peak.
Michelle, what do you make of it?
Colin said this one is quite shaky because 2 girls' schools against 1 boys' school. And you see, the reason why I would fear for any of the schools, in fact, all 3 schools, is that this is knockout. You will not get a second chance. So, I don't know. I honestly don't know what to expect at all.
Like highest losing school. Top.
No, we don't have that now.
Knockout. This thing, guy, you see, so if you are knocked out, you leave. You just start packing.
So you need to come into this particular contest with your A game. You can't warm yourself up in this particular contest because the moment you are ready, you are ready to take the lead. Maybe somebody has extended the gap to about 10 points. But we know a particular school in this particular contest 18, who can bottle 11-point lead. So yeah, we see what will happen. And the last contest 27, Opoku-Ware also made it to the final last year. They will be coming up against Asanteman and also Bishop Herman College. 10 seconds each. Let's wrap up because almost our time is up.
Asanteman Senior High School, they did fantastic. They did well at. They just ended prelim stage. Not only did they secure qualification, they also ensured that 3 awards. They solved the problem of the day 10 over 10 through.
Wesley Girls, Wesley Girls actually in the original qualifiers, they had 10 out of 10 in the problem of the day. In the national championship, also posted 10 out of 10 in the problem of the day. So it looks like that is an easy part for them.
Yeah, so Asanteman, they're also ready. But 2 Ashanti region schools, so Opoku-Ware was. They brought Stephen, right?
Yeah, so last year, they came in with contestants who has been on stage for 3 times, right from Form 1 to Form 3. There is another school who is also trying to repeat this year. They are starting with a Form 1 school students this time around. But you revealed his identity after their contest. I think he's from your school.
This is the time to go on social media to tweet. 2 Ashanti region schools against Bishop Herman College from the Volta region. Who is winning? Which region will get to represent their region or something?
All right, so this is where we are drawing the curtains to today's conversation on the National Science and Maths Quiz on the pause. It's been an interesting one. Currently, the senior schools that just came here or arrived in Cape Coast have begun having their orientation to know what they should do. The 2026 National Science and Maths Quiz is produced by Primetime Limited and sponsored by the Ghana Education Service with support from Gold PLC, Prudential Life Insurance, Pepsodent, Cowbell, Trustor AI, Jupe Money Transfer, Lomivas, GTP, Spain City Laundromat, Didi Jollof, Bell Beverages, Accra College of Medicine and Coronation Insurance. And the broadcast on Joy News is sponsored by Vitamilk, Entrance University of Health Sciences and Chartered Institute of Management Accountants. And broadcast partners, we have Fruitally Excellence Publications and Stationery. We have Digital, Nataraj, Virtual Security Africa, Left Signature Limited, Center Tank, Doormaster, New Crystal Hospital, Palm University College, and also we have Ayuda Prospectus Ghana Limited and Family Health University and Miss Water. Tomorrow, first contest 9 a.m. live on Joy Prime Prempeh College, West Africa Senior High, and also Kumasi Girls will be competing, and that is on Joy Prime. The other contests will also, there are 2 remaining contests. That's contest 6, Pope John Senior High School, likely to be on Joy News, as well as contest 9, St. Augustine's College facing Anlo Senior High School and Kumasi High School. My name is Collins Frimpong. I did this with my colleagues, Michelle Latte, as well as Ramat Bashir. Ken, I hope your school is also in this particular competition.
I didn't go to school in Ghana, Collins, so my school is not part, unfortunately. But thank you very much, Collins Frimpong. That is it for the Pulse this evening. Thank you for watching. My name is Kenneth. Jesse, have a good evening.